communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Welcome to Today's America, Millennium News 24/7. This is Tofader Noor from our American studio. Viewers, so many news in the world, sad news, bad news. Everything is bad and sad. We have our guest today, our regular, our network friends, George Ortega. Welcome, George, in our network today.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, brother. You know, New York City, from coming Monday, mandate, what is the call? Max mandate, vaccine mandate, everything is take off. This is good things or bad things?
Well, I think it's a good thing. I mean, it shows, I trust the CDC. I think it shows that enough people have gotten vaccinated, boosted. So, yeah.
That's true. But one thing, 87% American, they give the vaccine, but 13% is still not. And I am talking in New York City. So many color people, so many American white people, they don't want to use the vaccine and max. But it's good things for our business, restaurant business, you know, all business. People, they don't have to show the vaccine card. That's true. George, tell us what is the Biden try to do Ukraine and NATO. Do you have any idea, George?
Well, naturally the economic sanctions, I don't know how many more. They're now talking about banning imports of oil from Russia. Hopefully that'll work. If it doesn't work and Putin expands his reach to other countries, invades other countries, then it'll have to become military. Like, we'd have to go to war. But at this point, it doesn't seem like that's likely.
You know, United Nations last night, they passed the bill. NATO can help Ukrainian airspace. Russia cannot come, Ukrainian airspace. But NATO is not going to do that. But United Nations urge NATO to do that. So this is some kind of politics or what?
Well, yeah, it's all posturing. Who knows what is really going on, and foundationally there. But again, in terms of the sanctions, hopefully it will be enough. And the United Nations approval of, protecting that airspace is good news because it shows Putin that the world is against him.
That's true. Other thing, United States government bring the oil and gas from Russia through Alaska. Millions of barrels every single day. But United States closed the European line from Moscow, from Black Sea to always Germany. That one work is closed. But we are bring the gas from Russia. Why we are stop Russian gas to Europe? And also we are bring ourselves. This is not a double standard?
Well, ideally, it would be best to basically have Putin and the oligarchs feel the pain so that the pain isn't felt by Americans and Europeans in various ways, because these economic sanctions, they're going to increase prices here in the United States and in Europe. But, again, ideally, to target more specifically and sharply the oligarchs, the people who are controlling Putin's money, Putin's power. That's what needs to be done more of, and less of the kinds of sanctions that affect many more people.
That's right. Russia already attacked Ukrainian, one of the largest nuclear place, and they threw out the bomb. But IAEA, they said the nuclear reactor is good, is not damaged. If they throw out the bomb, probably everything is damaged. If it's damaged, whole Ukraine, whole Europe gonna be gone. Probably is not gonna affect anything. Do you have any idea? Do you know anything?
Well, I mean, my knowledge of nuclear reactors is they tend to be safe from kind of military attacks. The possibility of a meltdown is generally very low, so I'm not worried about that. In terms of like Ukraine's economy, once Putin is no longer there, it'd be nice if they had access to those nuclear reactors until they can get better renewables.
Russian people, peace and loving people, but since 98 to as of today, and Russia have a right-wing fundamentalist government, and they are used to with President Putin. They're thinking he doing good things for the country, but he destroy Russian democracy. He destroy Russian opposition leader. If anyone open mouth, he put the jail or crush him, killed him. This is the way he survived. So Russian people every day, thousands of people protest all over Russia. So probably Russian people gonna be away from him, or they just, as a neighbor, as a same language, as a relative, they are just, doing sympathy with Ukrainian. George?
Yeah, well, the Russian people have not been informed about why this is happening. They, as far as I understand, the news media in Russia has been shut down, so people are getting just official information, which is, often misinformation. If you want to go to the root of that, we have to go to the United States. Basically, our media, run by rich people, are kind of like trying to do as little as possible. It's like with climate change. Yes, they have to appear to be opposing Putin, but if they were truly opposing Putin, and Trump, because they are allies, they're working together, they would be doing much more to connect Putin to Trump and then to prosecute Trump for his attempt to overthrow our country. I mean, the people who are in power are completely ignoring that dynamic, because that is why Putin invaded Ukraine, in an attempt to protect Trump. So if the rich in this country who control our politics, who control our media, have that in mind, then yes, then who knows what will happen with Russia and Ukraine? Who knows what will happen with anything? Because they have the power to basically, if they refuse to prosecute Trump, then that is the end of the American democracy.
Bro, probably he wipe up the Ukrainian country. Probably he gonna make Ukraine one of the province or state part of Russia. This is his view. 2008 he attacked Georgia. 2014 he attacked Ukraine, Crimea. And 2022 he attacked again Ukraine. And his soldier, we do not know before, right now we know, his soldier all over the Moldova, So what is his viewpoint? He gonna make again USSR or empire or something else?
That is exactly his aim, and he has stated that. He has stated that the collapse or the disunion of USSR has been the biggest mistake ever. He's been completely against it. So yes, absolutely. I think that's very clear that after taking Ukraine, after capturing Ukraine, he would go on to other countries, because that he wants a unified USSR again.
So that time he have to fight with the NATO. If he tries to take over Poland, Lithuania, Estonia, so those countries the part of NATO. NATO gonna not allow that. They're gonna allow.
Exactly. We have no choice. It'd be World War III. Yes.
That's true. So these days we don't see any good things our world. Since 2014, not 2014, after 9/11, 2020, not 20, I'm sorry.
2001, yes, I know.
2001 to as of today, world is totally crushed, one by one country by one. We are unnecessary attack Iraq, Afghanistan. They are innocent people. We killing millions of people, our government. Our Bush administration, whatever he did is wrong things for America. But all of the administration came, they are talking about America, nationalist. But America, our constitution, they have anywhere we can killing the people, innocent people, George?
Well, I mean, what we did to the Native Americans was horrible. What we did to African Americans was horrible. So we do not have a good track record here in the United States of defending human life. We are, to a great extent, responsible for the extreme poverty in sub-Saharan Africa, and so what is the answer? People, but right now the rich control, this country control the entire world. People will not oppose the rich until their standard of living is threatened. So this may take a while if as a result of COVID or bad policies or war, then people begin to feel that pain. Then what will happen is very similar to what happened in 1932. After the Great Depression, the Democrats basically championed for the rights of the people, and they won 40 seats in the Senate, and they won a comparable amount in the House of Representatives between 1932 and 36. And that is what allowed FDR, who was for the people, he wasn't for the rich, he was a genuinely good man. That was what allowed him to institute the New Deal and all these programs that have so benefited not just Americans, but people throughout the world.
Whatever FDR did, he did it. But 2001 to as of today, almost $29 trillion we lose for just dumping ocean. $29 trillion for this fighting. Invasion, Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Libya, Yemen. So what is the American interest? I know we are American. We have to have some interest. What is the interest we have in Syria? What is the interest we have in Ethiopia? What is the interest we have in Libya? And also Yemen. Do you have any idea, George?
Well, with each specific case, yes, Noor, with each specific case, I don't know the incidentals. In Yemen, there was a revolution that brought down their autocrat some time ago, but then it got reversed. And so basically, what is our interest in those countries? The better question is what are the interests of the rich in those countries? Because again, we do not have a democracy here in the United States. We think we do, but it has been run by the rich since its inception. Initially, it was white men who owned land, and now it's the rich. We talked about misinformation, disinformation, lack of information in Russia. We have the same problem here in the United States, because I just saw an article in the New York Times that is supposed to be a liberal paper, where the publisher, Sulzenberger, is trying to promote the meme, this idea that prosecuting Trump is a long shot. He's trying to promulgate the idea that it's going to be a very difficult prosecution. That is a complete lie. That's a bigger lie than Trump told to those people when he said the election was stolen. So, if we talk about the Yemen, the different parts of the world, we have to talk about the rich who control this country and now are on the wrong side. They don't want to put Trump in prison, and that is our problem.
You know that two prosecutors already quit from his case, but New York State Attorney General, she put another, high qualified, high activist, public prosecutor who knows how to handle Trump and his case. They already sign up. But one thing, the federal case, whatever he did in January 6, the case probably he not going to be jail. Reason, our Justice Department and lawmaker, they don't want to put him in jail. This is their viewpoint. But New York State Attorney General, her viewpoint is, if someone doing crime with state, doing business this state, making billions of dollars this state, and they don't want to pay the tax. Billions of dollars he owe American IRS, American taxpayer. So I don't know what's going to be happen in this case. Do you have any idea?
Well, no, in the New York case, I mean, first of all, it's a financial case where chances are if Trump is prosecuted and convicted, he would pay a huge fine. I'm not sure he'd do any jail time, but that is inconsequential. That's incidental to what happened on January 6th because, the media aren't reminding us of this, but Trump attempted to overthrow our government. And there are now dozens, perhaps there will be hundreds of people going to jail and prison because they believed his lie. These people were victims of him. So if the New York Times and the Washington Post and the rich want to just not do anything about that, then it doesn't matter what happens in New York. Nothing else matters. If that's how they want it, then again, we have lost our democracy. And then that's a completely new terrain. We don't have anything in our American history to be able to understand what happens next. What happens when our Democratic leaders, Biden, Garland, basically are denying their duty, basically are derelict in their duty to prosecute Trump. If that happens, again, we don't have a democracy in any form.
When Biden get into the White House, and journalists, they ask him, he going to prosecute Trump. He totally clear. He said, this is not my subject. This subject is Justice Department. This is not my subject. I am not doing anything to Trump. If Justice Department do something, they can do it. So what do you think this answer?
I think that answer is a colossal lie. It's a Trump caliber lie because he appointed Merrick Garland. He knew exactly what Garland would or would not do before Garland got the appointment.
That's right. George, stay with us. Viewers, we are going to short break. Please stay with us.
Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
আপনি কি লাইনে নাই? We are back again. Today is America. Millennium News 24/7. Politician always whole of the world double standard. They have a few phase. Which phase and what place, God knows. Biden administration show the world he put so many embargo, so many people, banks and Russian president and his ally, his foreign minister, and they seizing lot of financial asset around the world. France, England, Germany, United States, and globally. This is one thing. Other thing, they make our defense to Russian defense new fiber internet line. They can talk each other. Also, we stop Russian oil coming to the Europe, but we bring millions of barrels every single day. We are not talking about ourselves. That's why Ukrainian president urged today globally all protesters who protest against Russia joined with him and come as a freedom fighter in Ukraine. This is good thing, George?
Well, the reason it's good in a certain sense, but no, the reason he's saying that is because the people, not just the Russian oligarchs, but the American oligarchs who sided with Trump, who helped Russia install Trump as our president, they need to be targeted too. Sanctions, embargoes, their finances need to be interrupted also because they hold the power. So yes, I mean, like, is it a good thing for them to fight for their freedom, the Ukrainians? Yes, but are they going to get crushed? I mean, come on, the difference in military might between Russia and Ukraine couldn't be more different. So I actually think it was a mistake of Zelensky to not surrender. So, you know, to not recognize the overwhelming force that Russia represents and save the lives of as many people as he could. So we'll have to see, you know, again, that they chose to elect an actor, a comedian as their president. They pay a price for that. We paid a price for electing Trump.
You are 100% right, but probably he is not stopped. He getting so many pushback from European Union, NATO's, also our Western Alliance, so-called United States, Canada, and Australia. So many feedback, so many money, so many things. That's why he is not back down. Do you have any idea? This is the reason or some other reason?
The rich here in the United States don't want to imprison Trump. Because if they imprison Trump, that means that the Democrats would win by a landslide in November, and that means that their taxes would go up. That means we would finally take serious action on climate change, poverty, education, and healthcare. So basically, the rich want to extend this war as long as they can to distract from prosecuting Trump.
You know, whatever Trump did 2016, he don't get anything, any punishment. He get 2 times, you know, a love letter from the Congress, but, you know, 2 times he get impeachment. He don't care anything, you know. Only President, United States, 2 times impeachment for his work, his voice. How he became a president, whole world knows, and American people knows. But whatever he doing right now is against our land of America. He is talking against administration. He is talking against Congress and Senate. So Congress and Senate and administration, they have to do something. Do you have any idea for that?
Well, yes, what has to be done isn't really up to Congress or Biden. It's up to Merrick Garland and the Justice Department. They basically have to first prosecute him. They also have to, like, as part of this prosecution, and this is Biden's role also, he should be telling the American people that those people who invaded the Capitol on January 6th believed they were doing the right thing because Trump lied to them. So people have to understand the extent of that lie, the harm that that did. So then the Republican Party, once Trump is indicted, prosecuted, convicted, the Republican Party who continues to support him has to be attacked as if they were Nazis, because in a sense they are. They have become corrupt. They're basically bringing down what's left of our democracy. So what has to happen is, yes, the Democrats, congressional Democrats, and the party has to represent the American people, has to basically make the Republicans pay for what they've done this November. Now, if they choose not to do that because they are beholden to the rich, as is becoming increasingly evident, then yes, then we will have to wait for this slow attrition of this country, for things to get worse and worse and worse until then we act, like we've done before. Now, I think the rich are in for a surprise. The rich believe that they can destroy a country, they can destroy the climate of the world, and their children and grandchildren won't pay a price. The rich, with their violent media, with how they've conditioned American character, have conditioned us to fight when our interests are being threatened. And so whether it takes 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, because the rich have caused, this decline in democracy, the absence of rule of law by not prosecuting Trump, the children and the grandchildren of the rich are going to suffer, because the children of the poor and the grandchildren of the poor are not going to allow them to get away with what their parents are doing today.
You are right. Our federal agency, they investigate January 6, whatever they did in our capital city. They found so many things. Probably you know that. So many people, they coming from Russia. Thousands of people. How they came? Private jet, private flight. They stop over Florida and Texas. Then from Texas they came Washington by local flight. This is the way they did. Federal FBI, they found these things. They saying thousands of people here, but everyone have a picture. You know that, eh? Every human being by capital city, they have so many cameras, whole Washington. So they cannot found thousands of people. Finally they found they coming from Russia. This is not good for our country, man. This is not good for our nations. Whatever he tries to do, he's our president, ex-president. We never see ex-president. Still, they have a voice. Obama, he don't have a voice. Bush, he don't have a voice. Clinton, he don't have a voice. Carter, he don't have a voice. No one saying against current administration, but only him. Why?
Why? Because Biden is a coward and a fool and is corrupt. Biden is a coward because on day one of his administration, Trump should have been arrested and detained. On day two, the prosecution should have begun. So basically we are relying on on Biden to protect us from Trump. Biden is refusing. Biden, my guess, is protecting the rich. He's not a good person. And again, if he refuses to prosecute, indict, and convict Trump through the Justice Department, he will be committing a crime that not just history, but his contemporaries today will judge as far more evil than what Trump did.
Anyway, our these days our gun maker, gun industry, ammunition industry, bomb industry, and Lockheed Martin fighter jet, all fighter jet industry, they are making billions of dollars, and they hire the lobbyist. You know that. So they're getting millions of dollars. That's why they're stopped, number one. And they're supplying all arms, ammunition, everything Ukraine these days. Millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars. This money, taxpayer money. But we like to see use right place, right way. Do you think these things, or do you have any other idea?
Well, the rich, they're destroying our climate, and they don't care. They'll pump as many fossil fuels as they want to make as much money as they want, regardless of its effects on the future. So if that's how evil they are, the rich really don't care how many people die in the Ukraine or in Poland or anywhere. If they can make money selling arms to whomever, they will. That is our problem.
That's right. Rich is running whole of the world. When we going to see peace and love, we are talking democracy. American first voice is Democrat and democracy. But did you see we make anywhere any democracy before
No.
before 1991 or after 1991? After Reagan did democracy whole Europe, whole Soviet Union. But after that, did you see any kind of democracy we did as an American?
Nor I don't see a democracy in Russia or in any part of the world before or after 91, including the United States, because that has been a myth. It's a lie. As long as money is involved in politics, campaign finance is allowed by law, then no, we don't have democracy. And it's really disingenuous to really, to state that we do. It's a plutocracy, not just in this country. The Russian oligarchs control that plutocracy. American oligarchs control our plutocracy. So we will, eventually, again, we went from feudalism, kings and queens, to this pseudo democracy, this pretend democracy that turned out to be an oligarchy. And now our world, because of climate change and so many other important problems, needs to launch another revolution. This time a revolution against the plutocrats, the imposters who pretend to be democratic but are really just doing what the rich want.
Another point I'm going to bring. We have some media, United States, they are bring voice and talking point against the Biden administration, also United States of American Constitution, like Tucker Carlson, Fox News, and America One, and Newsmax, Wall Street Journal. They are against of the administration, also country. So how they doing business over here? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, and I think they're not necessarily against either the Biden or the Trump administration or any administration. They will basically do whatever they feel they need to do and say whatever they feel that they need to do, regardless of the administration, to advance their interests. So like when Trump was causing a lot of trouble for a while, they turned on him. Now that after January 6th that he attacked and tried to overthrow our government, now the newspapers, including the New York Times and the Washington Post, decline to condemn him. They now are trying to present the meme that he's going to go free. And so then the question becomes, if if they're saying it's so difficult to prosecute that case, what is their reasoning? I mean, the man promoted the insurrection by months of lying, of preparatory work, lying to those people. He gathered them there. What did he think? Did he think that they're marching to the Capitol and yelling outside of the Capitol gates was going to change that election result? Did he? No, he did not think that. He knew that they would have to become violent to make a difference, and that's exactly what happened. That is an open and shut case. The New York Times, the Washington Post, Fox News, these newspapers were trying to present this as, oh, well, perhaps he's not really indictable. These are bigger lies than Trump told.
You know, I review a few news media today. I found one good things. Russian president, he's talking last night. He said, America killed millions of Muslims. That time, Western, European, and NATO's, they are laughing. But when we try to kill Jew, Nancy, and they are attacking us. And NATO and America, they are double standard. This is true or lie?
It is true. I mean, our support for Israel Israel, in a lot of ways, acts like an apartheid government. They've been oppressing systematically the Palestinians for decades. They are Trump's friends. So, and it's not the Israeli people, it's the rich that control Israel, the same rich who control this country and the rest of the world. So yeah, this is a global problem. You can't find a country in the world that is not controlled by the rich today. That's the problem.
This is too bad. We try to save some people and we are killing other part, other religious, other color people. It's totally double standard. Hope our politicians, they have a justice. They can make their justice. Truth, peace, and love. Anyway, George, we are going to short break again. Please stay with us.
Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Viewers, we are back again today's America and Millennium News 24/7. We have our guest, our good friend, our network, George Ortega. We're going to talk about today, right now, Britain, France, German, what they are doing and what kind of help they doing Ukraine. George, whatever help German doing right now, why France and Britain behind of, way behind of German? Do you know anything?
Well, you know that Britain, for example, has a very right-wing government right now. I mean, the man just, exited the European alliance. I mean, so he's with Trump. If he's with Trump, he's with Putin. So Britain is trying to appear like they're on the Ukrainian side, but no, they're going to do as little as possible. France, I don't know their politics right now enough to say, but again, the people who run the United States, the people who run France, Germany, Italy, France, they're all the same people. They're all the rich. They understand that for Putin to lose quickly in the Ukraine means that we here in America would divert our attention back to this problem that our media is not telling us, this problem that we don't have a democracy if we allow Trump to go free after he invaded our capital, after he killed people. So again, it could be that, Britain, wants the world to believe that they're on the side of good, but as long as they're not bringing Putin down, helping with that effort, they're really on Trump's side.
When French President Macron win the vote for 2014 or 2016, he didn't coming to America, meet American president. Directly, he meet Russian President Vladimir Putin. And last 2 days, I see France 24 and DW, they are talking, Russian President talk with French President every single day few times. But I don't understood. France is part of NATO, part of European Union. So if they have a voice, why he do not talk hardly Russian government, Russian president? George?
Yeah, it's the same reason we here in the United States don't talk to Putin to talk him out of it. It's because the Biden doesn't want this war to end soon. He thinks that like if the war extends or accelerates, he is off the hook prosecuting Trump. So it's the rich trying to protect themselves, whether it's in France, or here in the United States.
No, I'm talking real things right now. I am not going to bring Trump. Trump is gone from our life. But if he's coming again, American people like him, and our, law enforcement and our Congress authorize him, he can run for president. If he win, he is our other, coming president. We don't care who is coming, who is goes. My question is, NATO's 30 countries, 1 or 2 countries, they are talking every day with Russian president. Why they are not pushing Russian president to stop fighting, stop bombing, killing the innocent people, killing, so many innocent people, also destroy their nuclear site, their houses, their school, their college, everything, police station, everything. So what kind of talk they are doing? Love talk, or they are talking real things for Ukrainian people?
They're, to the extent that they didn't stop this war to begin with, NATO countries are lying to the world also. They basically are allowing this to happen. You can't analyze this and understand this without understanding why Putin started the war in the Ukraine. And that's obvious. That's obvious. Putin helped Trump get elected. You know, they are allies. They're very strong allies. Putin it's a no-brainer. He said to himself, let's start a war, let's distract the American people, and let's keep Trump out of prison. Now, a lot of the NATO leaders who are controlled by the rich in their countries are doing the same thing Biden is doing. You know, by basically not attacking Putin and not explaining to the American people the reason Putin invaded Ukraine was to help Trump stay out of prison. That is the problem. You know, the countries, the NATO countries may, to the public, present different reasons for their lack of action, for allowing this to happen. But it's pretty transparent. It's pretty clear that regardless of what the country is, that Trump has his allies, you know, in the rich, in Biden, in this country, in Garland. And so they don't want to attack him because that would basically bring an end to rich control in this country. You know, that's essentially what they're afraid of. So yes, they can talk about like different pretexts for Russia invading the Ukraine, and the NATO countries can talk about different pretexts for not, you know, fighting harder and for not imposing enough sanctions. But it all goes back to the reason why Putin began this war to begin with.
You know, one of the current governor in United States, Florida governor, he is directly against our current administration, and whatever current administration doing, helping Ukraine, he said this is crime. Ukraine, part of Russia, long time, is not today, long time. So why Biden, you know, paying American taxpayer money? Do you have any,
I'm sorry.
I said, do you have any idea? This guy is one of the highest state, sunshine, state of Florida governor. You know,
he could make the same argument, you know, about the American Revolution. You know, the colonies were part of Britain for so long, for over a century. You know, that the United States belonged to Britain. So how are we going to, you know, claim independence? It's the same thing with Russia. That's what happens in the world. You have these colonial powers, these imperial powers that control the world. Then little by little, the countries began to gain their independence, and that's what happened with the Ukraine. So that argument is insubstantial, to say the least.
You know, George, hope our world coming peace and love. Also, our ex-president Donald Trump, he told the world and his follower, you know, he's opened another social network, his own social network. So sometime I checked, and he wrote it, Ukraine part of Russia, long time, not today, long time. So that's why my administration not work with Ukrainian current president, Nancy president. This is his voice. He is one of the ex-president of United States of America. And millions of Jews living our country. They build our country. They helping our country. And our president saying this kind of horrible word. George?
Yeah, you know, Trump is going to protect Putin because Putin helped get Trump elected. And if we don't prosecute, indict, and convict Trump, then his social network will wield power. His new platform will misinform people. Biden doesn't care. Garland doesn't care. You know, if they cared, they would have begun the prosecution of Trump months ago. So yes, I mean, we have to accept that this country's in the decline. You know, the Roman Empire didn't last forever. The British Empire didn't last forever. This empire is I think perhaps much more rapidly than people realize, disassembling. When we lose the rule of law, when we don't do something as commonsensical, as imperative, as imprisoning for life a person who attempted to overthrow our government, we don't have a country anymore. We're beginning to wake up to that now. So what happens is, like, let's see what happens in November. If the Democrats by then have not prosecuted, indicted, and convicted Trump, and have not won by a landslide, then yes, the future for this country and the world is bleak, and we'll go through a period where the rich will continue to destroy things until they will have destroyed so much that the people then rise up. Whether that happens in a year or 2 or 5 is yet to be seen. But or the other possibility is, like, this pandemic wasn't the people, but this pandemic was an act of God against, this world order, these people who are controlling the world and not doing what they should. So we might be able to be something that could happen. More variants, different kinds of variants, more pandemics.
We like to see that. Anyway, George, today is almost our time end. If you like to say last word.
Yeah, well, I'm always going to be an optimist, because I think that, generally we go in the right direction, but we have to make the right choices now, or going the right direction over the next few years will be much more difficult.
Thank you, brother. Stay with us. Viewers, millions of people, homeless, refugee, worldwide. We see what's happened in Syria, Yemen, Libya. Millions of people in displaced, died, and still they are sufferer. We don't like to see any kind of refugee, any kind of human shield in the world. Whatever happening right now, our Ukrainian brother and sister, their neighbor, Poland, Hungary, Romania, Moldova, they helping Lord. This is called humanity. So many way they helping. Local public, they take the people their house. They take what place they are living. They living someplace else. They give their apartment to these refugees. This is the thing happening in Germany, Poland, and Hungary, Romania, Moldova. But our Britain friends, they are talking, they don't want to take any refugee from Ukraine. Same thing, boys coming, France president. They are right-wing fundamentalist, and they call they are part of NATO. Our Joe Biden call they are strong leaders. Shameful. Anyway, viewers, our time is end for today. Please watch Millennium News 24/7 and Today's America. We are in all iOS and Android devices, also all smart TVs like Samsung, Sony, LG, Roku, Amazon. Also we are on all IPTVs like Radiant, Jagobidi, Jadoo, and some other local IPTVs too, Star TV and Sky TV, so many things. And our social network address, Millennium News 24/7, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Our YouTube channel, News Channel M24. Our website, millenniumnews24.com, also millenniumtv24.com. Our email address, info@millenniumtv24.com, also Today's America @millenniumtv24.com. Viewers, whatever you are, Please watch our news, views, talk show, current affairs, editorial, so many show every day. Our reporters, journalists, editorial, IT, broadcaster, camera person, everyone we are making together. Please watch Millennium News 24/7. We are respect and honor our colleague and friends. Viewers, please stay peace, love and happiness. Goodbye and take care for today.